So I wanted to address a question that I get pretty often. I get a lot of questions from college students, from current law students, from other lawyers. So I thought, you know what, let me answer some of these questions, put it out there. It might be helpful to other people who have similar questions on their minds. So one question I get often is, should I go solo? So this is obviously by people who have already passed the bar, so by lawyers, not so much by college students or law students. But I get asked, should I go solo? Should I open my own law practice? The reason I get asked this question so often is because I myself went solo about 2 years ago in 2014. I was working at a small law firm for 3 years and part-time, and then I decided to open my own practice. So when I speak and when I share with you guys this advice and these stories, it's from personal experience. It's obviously my opinion, but you know what? It might be helpful to someone out there, so I'm going to share it anyways. But yeah, so I actually opened my own practice, and I'm no longer practicing now, but that's a story for a different day. So let's focus on when I actually opened my practice. So there is no shortage of articles online telling you guys or giving advice, dishing out advice on whether or not you should go solo and how to make that decision. So I'm not going to repeat any of that stuff because I really think there's good information out there, right? Obviously, save up money. Know your stuff before you go out. Line up some mentors so you have someone to turn to when you do go solo and you have questions. All that is really good advice. But I have my own thoughts on what it really takes to go solo, or what's really going to help you make that decision to go solo. And it really comes down to 3 things. And they're more baseline, foundational questions you need to ask yourself. Not, do I have enough money saved up before I go solo? Because that's common sense, right? Obviously, you need to have money or else you have no business. You have no business opening a law practice because, trust me, the money is not going to be there once you start practicing as a solo. So of course, save up money, common sense. So here's what I think you need to have when you're making that decision of whether or not you should go solo and open your own practice. 1, do you have the hustle? Do you have that hustle inside you? Do you have that drive of just wanting something really, really badly, right? Are you willing to put in the hours day in and day out and grind for your new business, for your law practice? Oh, and by the way, if you're starting your own practice, if you're opening your own solo practice, you are starting a business, right? There's no way around this. Let's not joke about this. You can't think that you're going to open your own practice and not be running a business, because that's what it is. So do you have that hustle inside you? Are you willing to put in the hours? Are you gonna stay up at night working on your website or answering client calls or drafting those motions? Are you gonna spend weekends away from the beach or maybe not necessarily hanging out with your family because you have some stuff to do? Is that what you're willing to do? Because that's what it comes down to. And I know that a lot of people say they want to go solo because they want to have more control over their time, and that's true, you will. You definitely will have more control over your time, so you can choose to not do work on weekends. But when it comes down to it, it comes down to you, right? If you're running your own practice, it all falls on you. So all the stuff that needs to get done, all the administrative work, all the legal work, all the running around doing menial tasks that you would usually pass on to someone else if you worked at a firm, but now it's all on you, right? So do you have that hustle? Are you willing to go out and be the face of your business and the behind the scenes of your business? Those are things you need to think about. All right. Second thing that you really should take into consideration when you are making that decision to go solo is, are you comfortable with the discomfort? So are you comfortable being uncomfortable? Because that's what it feels like every single day as a solo practitioner, at least in the beginning, right? There are so many unknowns. It's scary. You're starting a new business, right? You're starting from scratch. You're building a foundation. Nobody knows who you are. Obviously there are exceptions. You might have already built up goodwill as a lawyer or just a reputation for yourself, or hopefully you've built up a brand for yourself before going solo. But for the most part, in general, you're starting from scratch, right? You're new, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable having to prove yourself. What's even scarier and even more uncomfortable is the fact that you're not gonna have that steady income. Oh no, you will not. You can no longer rely on someone handing you a check every 2 weeks or at the end of the month. You can kiss that goodbye because it is so uncertain where your money is coming from, right? And of course, I'm speaking in generalities. There are things that you can do as a new solo to kind of guarantee that you have that steady income, right? Like setting up systems, creating products, and some other passive income stuff that you can do. And we can definitely talk about in a future episode, but get comfortable with being uncomfortable. That's all I can say. So if you are someone who is not comfortable with being uncomfortable all the time, then solo is not for you, my friend. Here we go. Third thing that you should really consider when you're thinking about going solo is, are you okay working on building someone else's dreams? Because that's exactly what you're doing if you're not a solo practitioner. A lot of people might disagree with this, but that's what it comes down to, in my opinion. If you are someone who needs to be working on their own thing and has this huge dream for themselves of just making a name for themselves in the law and the legal profession, and just building a practice and building a business that really stands for something, then you need to go solo. Because that is not going to happen if you're working for someone else, right? Because you are working on building that person's dream, your employer's dream, not your own. So if you feel like your dreams are getting too big to be contained in that law firm that you currently work at, then I think that's a good indication that you need to go solo. And I say all this knowing very well that it's not easy. But I also say this knowing that this is the best time to go solo. There are so many resources out there for you that did not exist just 5-10 years ago, right? Making it pretty easy for you to get things, to get the ball rolling. And when I say making it easy, I mean in terms of the procedures and the structure, opening your practice. That's what's easy. Now the hustle that I already talked about, that's sold separately, right? That does not come with all the resources that are available. That's you, my friend. But this is the time to do it. If you're gonna do it, this is the time to do it. So many resources, so many books and websites and podcasts and people that you can so easily reach on social media that can help you. If you feel like your dreams, again, are just becoming too big to be contained and you gotta do this and you think about it day and night and you can't stand going into work because you know you can do things better, you know you can help people more and in a better way, then you need to do this. Then you need to go solo, and the world needs you to go solo because the world needs your specific services and your specific touch on this legal profession. Okay? So hopefully that gives you some, I don't know, hopefully that answers your questions if you've been debating in your head whether you should or shouldn't. Don't ask for permission. Don't look to anyone for permission. Don't even stop watching this video and go start it, right? Because if you're wondering and you're waiting for someone to tell you it's okay, you're ready to go solo, then you're not ready. You know what I mean? Don't look for permission, just do it. Just decide on doing it. Put the steps in order. Stop setting up the foundation that you need to go solo, and go solo. Okay? So just do it. Just act on it. Stop wondering. Stop debating. Stop questioning. Stop asking people for permission, and just go freaking do it. Because if it's in your head all the time and if it's in your heart, then you need to do it. All right? Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. In the comment section below, leave any kind of questions that you might have regarding going solo. It's something, like I said, that I did 2 years ago. I don't talk about it as often, but I'm very happy to share any kind of advice, anything that I did that made my law practice work for 2 years. So leave some questions in the comments and let's get this conversation going. Like I said, there are so many resources online. So if this video just didn't do it for you, or if this video kind of got the wheels churning, then just go research this some more, think about it, and then make a decision and commit to it. Okay? All right. Thank you for watching. Please go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I show some behind the scenes of what I'm doing now that I'm no longer practicing, now that I've shut down my solo practice. So you can find me at Nick_Abood. It's flashing on the screen right now. I'd love for you guys to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. And let's keep in touch, okay? All right, bye.